Hello everyone, TF2Spy492 here, and today I'm going to be showing off the Xbox games that have significantly impacted me in my childhood years from the early 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s, and of course, now. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, on my original Xbox list, this is a very good fighting game to me, and it introduced me to the Dead or Alive series, as we know it. Dead or Alive 3. This game, when it came out, it had a very good original soundtrack performed by Aerosmith, Amazing, Nine Lives, Home Tonight, and this fighting game actually had a significant impact on me as an Xbox gamer, because at the time, fighting games on another platform was considered to be a huge risk. But this is actually a very good fighting game that I could still play on an arcade stick, and I would do well with it. Even though it was not made for audience for children, but despite its mature themes, I understand this game as one of the testaments to how well the original Xbox handled fighting games as we know it. Then we have the first Halo, which was only on Xbox at the time. There was also a PC port, but I'm talking about the original Xbox version. But now, this is one of the very first Halo games that got me into the whole idea of futuristic combat in a good way, and it also was one of the very first multiplayer games I could play for hours on end with friends and still have fun to this very day. I don't have a 360 anymore because it broke. Even my original Xbox, which is broken still, I don't have those anymore. But this game will always have a special place in my heart as this franchise that has got me into Xbox as we know it with FPS games. Then the sequel, Halo 2, came out in 2004. The Earth would never be the same without this game. Well, in the Xbox realm of games, it was one of the very first games that had Xbox Live enabled with all my features. As it says here, it plays on the 360, which also the original Halo can also be played on that system too. It had a lot of great things going for it. You could download content. You had a lot of clans to choose from. You could do voice chat, friends from here or far away, scoreboards. The online multiplayer was just fantastic. I could never, ever say a bad thing about this multiplayer game. Like, it had system requirements for internet, which back then you needed a cable or DSL, and Ethernet cable, which I did have, but at the time, to play this game online was like mind-blowing. And no other console gamers got me into online gaming like this thing did. I only had DSL back in the day, but once I got cable in my house, years later, I went back to playing this game, and I still have good memories with it. And sadly, the original Xbox servers were shut down, and it saddened me to this very day. But I have to move on because it's part of life. All right, now on to the 360 side of things, which is probably one of my favorite consoles of the generation, right next to the Nintendo Wii. My my story of the 360 goes like this. When I first heard of the words Xbox and 360, I was like, wow, it's a great combination. It's like better than everything I ever expected. So when I had the 360 back in like 07 or 08 with the 120 gigabyte model, I was having fun like crazy with that system, and most of the games on it were actually pretty good. So without further ado, let's first start off with a fighting game that was released for the Xbox 360, Dead or Alive 4. Great sequel to the third one. It was critically commercially acclaimed when the third one was still there, but the fourth one got me into the series once more with online play and a lot of other things as well that was going for it. It was it had the ability to have co-op. It's or 4 players, or even the online multiplayer. Voice chat was pretty hilarious in some games, but in this, I kind of like the voice chat because back then people would talk a lot of smack to you and such in the 360 era of gaming. But I remember those days like it were yesterday. Now, the Halo game that got me so hyped up as a kid, because I liked Halo 1 and Halo 2 on the original Xbox. But the third one was, to me, one of those eye-popping moments that I ever seen for a Halo game. It said it was a stunning conclusion to the Halo trilogy, but to me, it was a great masterpiece, waiting for me to be touched, waiting for me to be played, and waiting for me to be playing with friends too, especially online. Although the best part about this game is the custom maps. The custom maps made me feel like I was playing something new each time I was playing with friends. And file sharing, which is pretty cool too. And then we have Halo 3 ODST. And this also has gotten me into Halo as well. So this has 2 discs, and disc 1 is the campaign, and disc 2 is the multiplayer. So why were there only 2 discs for this game, you may ask? Well, because they couldn't fit multiplayer and the campaign in one disc. They had to do it in separate discs for multiplayer and for online. This game's not bad at all. To me, it's just as good as Halo 3. Halo Reach, I know every legend has its beginning, as it states on the cover, but the story it's not one of my favorites, but it's okay to me. But the multiplayer is what I liked about this game. There's so much user-generated content, file sharing, and all that kind of stuff, and content downloads. But I've had so many good memories of this game online with friends. But, well, it's one of those games I could still play, and I wouldn't get bored of it. Okay. Let's see. One of the very first Xbox 360 games that introduced me to FPS horror games was Fear. Although I don't have the original cover, but this is the one that GameStop gave to me when I first bought it used back in the day. It's very scary, to me at least. It still gives me the itchies in my skin when I play it. Although the sequels weren't as good. The third one was probably great, but the second one was lackluster, although it wasn't too bad, but to me it was lackluster. This game has some horror elements that were Japanese influenced, and it still gives you, it still scares you to this very day. It still does. Well, in terms of like scaring the crap out of my skin. Okay. Now on to the first Grand Theft Auto game I ever played on the 360, and the one that got me into Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto 4. It takes place in Liberty City, and the American dream is like, living in a big city like New York or California, Miami, whatever place or city you are in, and you get to go do a lot of crazy shit, like commit crime and shit. But in this game, when it came out, it was controversial as fuck. Probably because it depicted violence in a lot of things as like a selling point. And to this day, I still play it. I still like doing a lot of crazy shit in this game, like doing a lot of missions or organized crime and stuff, but not in real life. I would never do that in real life. But in this, I could do this without getting crushed by some people online back in the day. But please do not do crime at home or anywhere else. You could play a game like Grand Theft Auto and do a lot of crazy stuff, but in real life, it's not like that. It's a dangerous world out there, and being a criminal in the real world can get you into a lot of shit. But that's my 2 cents about crime in the real world. Then we have this game called Midnight Club Los Angeles. It's one of those games that I still like playing on my Series X, even though I used to play this on the 360, which is also good too. It has a lot of things going for it, although Rockstar doesn't give a shit about this series anymore. I like Midnight Club on the PSP and the PS2 era, but this one, it's good as well. Although, to me, this is one of the few franchises that should be remastered or restored at one point. Kind of like what the studio behind Burnout did with Burnout Paradise. Burnout Paradise Remastered is pretty good, but they should have mastered this game or one of the older Midnight Club games. But still, this game's quite fun. Okay, now on to the Battlefield game that got me into Battlefield the most. And I played this just as much as Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty. Battlefield Bad Company 2. It's a great single player experience, but the multiplayer is what really got me into this game, besides single player. Even though the single player is a little bit tedious and very screwed up at times, but the multiplayer in this game, when it came out, when I still played this until the servers got shut down, I had a lot of good memories of this game, playing online, and unlocking all the weapons. This game will have a special place in my heart as a Battlefield gamer. This got me into the Battlefield series as we know it, and it's a great game. Now, after the disappointment I had at Tekken 6, well, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 came along, and this Xbox 360 version of the game is quite well, to me at least, because it has a lot of good things going for it. It's a tag tournament game, kind of like the first one, but it's much more, with more characters and more things to do. It's a great spin-off game. I like this just as much as the first Tekken Tag Tournament on PS2. But this one, to me, is one of the best Tekken Tag Tournaments I ever played in a long time, after the disappointment I had at 6. Although, Tekken 6 is not technically the worst game in the Tekken series, to me, although it was a little lackluster, but I still like Tekken 6. But this one I like more than Tekken 6, to me at least, on the 360 side of things. And last but not least, on the 360 side of things, Dead Space series. And Dead Space 2 was a great sequel to the first one. And the only dumb part I didn't like was that you had to access your online pass to play online features, which sucks because when you buy a used version of this, you don't have the online pass, which sucks. But I remember buying this game and using the online pass, and it was pretty good. Multiplayer wise, it was great. Single player, it's great too. I don't think this online pass still works anymore. The code has been dead for a long time. Someone used it. Great game overall. Now on to the Xbox One things. I know it may sound strange that people may have preferred the PS4 over the Xbox One, but me, It was. I got my Xbox One after the whole fiasco with the whole DRM shit and such. But I think Xbox One was pretty great, although it was not as as bad as everyone seemed to always claimed it was. But when they patched all of it in, I didn't get the original Xbox One on launch. I had to wait till I got the revision of the model, which is called the Xbox One S. It's a great revision. I loved that revision so much until it broke down, and I had to get the One X. That also broke down. Well, the disk drive broke down, but the graphics chipset didn't break. Um, okay, so let's start off with the very last fighting game of Dead or Alive. Before I said, you know what, this is probably the last Dead or Alive game I'll ever play, because Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, it's got it's one of the best Dead or Alive games I played on the Xbox One, and Koei Tecmo did a very good job with this version, and the roster is pretty great. There's little new stages. It's got better graphics than the 360 version. One of the other things I liked about it is that you could play as one of the second characters from the Virtua Fighter series, like Akira and Sarah. Let's see what others. Oh, also forgot. One of the main protagonists, even though it's from the game itself, Kazumi. This game's pretty good. I liked that they put a lot of extra effort into putting more characters in. I didn't like Dead or Alive 6. I don't know why, but that game isn't that great because it's played with microtransactions. I played the demo of 6. I didn't buy the game, thank God. But this will be probably my favorite Dead or Alive in the modern era as we speak. And then, last but not least, for Xbox One, the Division 2, which came in this very cool case, and comes in this very wonderful disc as we speak. The Division 2, to me, I like this one more than the first Division game, or if not just as much, because there's a lot of missions to go through, and the third-person action in this game is pretty cool. Although I'm not a huge fan of Ubisoft games anymore, because most Ubisoft games nowadays suck. But this one, it's not bad. I like this game a lot because of its online focus of missions and multiplayer and that kind of such. So that's about it. Those are the Xbox games that have marked a significant impact on me as a Xbox gamer. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.